How do you combo off with Cursed Recording in Standard? How do you win by resolving a single Beseech the Mirror? That's what I'm going to show you today. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. So a few days ago, I opened up my email and I found a message from Bant4Life, and Bant4Life said they had found a new standard combo that no one had ever seen before. So I clicked on the message, expecting some blue and green and white cards based on the username. Turns out, it was surprisingly a bunch of Rakdos cards, but the combo is so cool. I knew right away we're gonna have to do this for Against the Odds. Plus, the message from Bant4Life not only had the combo, but had a very in-depth 11-step process to executing the combo properly. In this combo, it lets you win the game by casting a single Beseech the Mirror with a Curse Recording on the battlefield. That is all we need. It's a straight-up 2-card combo that wins the game on the spot, and it is hilariously convoluted. So let's talk about this ridiculous combo deck for Standard, which is kind of as close to something like Legacy Storm that I think you can actually build in Duskmourn Standard. But let's talk about the deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games and see if we can pull off this combo. So what is this deck trying to do? So first, we're building our own Cursed Recording, this weird artifact that for 4 mana gets counters whenever we cast an instant or sorcery. Once it gets 7, we take 20 damage. So once we cast 7 spells, we lose the game. The big deal is it taps to copy our next instant or sorcery spell. So our combo, all we need to do to win the game is we need a Cursed Recording, and then we need a Beseech the Mirror, which we can bargain to tutor up something mana value 4 less and cast it without paying its mana cost. These 2 cards, that's all we need. If we can play a Cursed Recording and then cast a Beseech the Mirror, the end result is we win the game. So how do we actually do this, I hear you wondering? Well, let me walk you through this wonderful 11-point process. And if you're going to play this deck, I would say you need to memorize this process, because the deck, it's trying to do the same loop pretty much every time. There's some like slight variations, but like 95% of the time, you're doing the same thing once you get the Curse Recording and Beseech the Mirror. So here is how this combo actually works. And if this sounds a little confusing, it'll make more sense once you actually see it happening in a game. But here's the combo, because you're going to need this if you want to try the deck. So first, we play the Curse Recording, we tap it so we can copy our next spell. Then we cast a Beseech the Mirror, bargaining away the Curse Recording. So we get 2 copies of Beseech the Mirror. So here, the first copy of Beseech the Mirror, we're going to get another Curse Recording. And it's very, very important, if you're playing on Arena or on Magic Online, go into full control mode. You gotta go into full control mode here, because what we need to do, the first Beseech the Mirror resolves. It gets the Curse Recording. We play the Curse Recording. We need to tap the Curse Recording before the second copy of Beseech the Mirror resolves. So that's the full control mode part. So we get the second Curse Recording, we go into full control, we tap it so we can copy our next spell. Then the second Beseech the Mirror resolves. This Beseech the Mirror is going to get another Beseech the Mirror, which is going to bargain away this second Curse Recording. So now we're kind of back where we started with 2 copies of Beseech the Mirror. But now the first copy of Beseech the Mirror resolves. This time we grab Storm Splinter, the 4 mana 1/4 Otter Wizard with haste that makes a copy of itself whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell. That is our finisher that's going to eventually win us this game with this ridiculous loop. So now we have a Storm Splinter and 1 more Beseech the Mirror to still resolve. This Beseech the Mirror is going to resolve. We are going to grab Reenact the Crime from our deck. Reenact the Crime for 4 mana lets us exile a non-land from a graveyard, and we can cast a copy of that spell without paying its mana cost. So we get the Reenact the Crime with Beseech the Mirror. When we cast the Reenact the Crime, we're going to trigger the Storm Splinter, so it copies itself. So now we have 2 Storm Splinters. The Reenact the Crime is going to target the Beseech the Mirror in our graveyard. So now we can bargain this Beseech the Mirror from our graveyard, sacking the token copy of Storm Splinter. So now we're back down to 1 Storm Splinter. But when we cast the Beseech the Mirror, we go back up to 2 Storm Splinters. We get another Beseech the Mirror. This Beseech the Mirror is going to get another Reenact the Crime, and this is where it gets fun. So we have 2 Storm Splinters right now. When we cast this new Reenact the Crime, it's going to target a Reenact the Crime that's already in our graveyard from before. So now we go up to 4 Storm Splinters. Then this new Reenact the Crime, the one that we flash back from the graveyard, that's going to target the Beseech the Mirror. Now we go up to 8 Storm Splinters, and then the Beseech the Mirror can bargain away one of the Storm Splinter tokens, so we go back down to 7 Storm Splinters to find another Reenact the Crime or Beseech the Mirror. Once we get to this point, all we really need to do to make hundreds of Storm Splinters is we just keep Beseeching the Mirror and Reenact the Crime till we cast every copy that we have of those in our deck. The end result result's going to be a few hundred hasty Storm Splinters, and that's the combo, and that is how you can win the game with this 11-step process by resolving a single Beseech the Mirror with Cursed Recording. The rest of the deck, we have a couple of ways to find our combo pieces. Collector's Vault digs through our deck, makes tokens that we can beseech off of. Insatiable Avarice can just tutor up a combo piece. And then we have a ton of removal, with Volcanic Spite being especially important because it lets us put a combo piece that we draw back into our deck. And one of the ways the deck could fizzle, we only have like 2 Storm Splitters. So if we just get unlucky and top deck both of them, we wouldn't be able to get one during our loop to win the game. So Volcanic Spite has the upside of letting us put like that Storm Splinter back in our deck to execute the combo. Mana Base, Fountain Port, pretty good for making tokens we can bargain off of. Sideboard, we get some dresses for control, bunch more removal, Urboss Forge, Realmbreakers, backup win conditions, some graveyard hate, and that is Cursed Recording combo. Essentially a legacy style Storm deck, but legal in Standard. And that's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see if this ridiculously convoluted, super awesome Storm plan can actually work in Standard. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Against odds time, we are trying to combo off, storm off in Standard with Cursed Recording, and this should be interesting. This is like, I don't even know, one of the most convoluted decks. Well, I mean, we have Cursed Recording, Beseech the Mirror, which is literally the combo. That is all we need to win the game. So I think we keep. Let's play land go. So let's see if we can execute this properly is going to be the challenge. And can we dodge the interaction? Opponent Simic A. Well, let's play a Verge, I guess, and get down this Collector Vault. Not doing anything next turn anyway, so we might as well start doing a little looting, perhaps. Opponent gonna run out of frog. So, well, let's play the Raccoon Theater. Insatiable Avarice, don't really need it. I mean, I feel like frogs should be fine, right? They don't really have counters. I don't know if they have artifact removal. Pawn Profit. Well, let's get rid of this 2/3. We don't even really need to Collector Vault here. We just have we have everything we need to combo off. Opponent draws a card and gonna play the tap land. Well, let's play the Verge and get down the Cursed Recording. I don't think our opponent's going to expect to die next turn. We'll see. We'll see. Do they know that Cursed Recording actually literally just means sudden death? Opponent gets in with a Pawn Profit. Down to 19. Oh no. The frogs are... I would prefer our opponent tapping out. That would be nice. Or down. I mean, they could have a random counter. Or artifact destruction, I guess? Seems not that... Yes. Yes. All right. All right. All right. It is time to do a little comboing. Okay. Turn 5 win, hopefully, if we do this properly. Okay, let's see if we can execute this loop properly. So, we need to activate the Cursed Recording to copy our next spell. Now, we need to bargain Beseech the Mirror, sacking the Cursed Recording. All right, this is where we got to stay in full control for this to work, because we need to get another Cursed Recording and activate it before the second Beseech the Mirror resolves. So we get the Cursed Recording, we stay in full control, Cursed Recording resolves. Activate the Cursed Recording. Okay, now we should be good. Hopefully we're good. So Beseech, the next step is we need to get another Beseech the Mirror. It's only like a 10-step process, I promise. So Beseech the Mirror. We sack the Cursed Recording. We have 2 Beseech the Mirrors again because of the second Cursed Recording. Now we get the Storm Splitter. Play the Storm Splitter. We still have another Beseech the Mirror. Beseech the Mirror gets a Reenact the Crime. Reenact the Crime gets back the Beseech the Mirror, triggers the Storm Splitter. Now we have to sack the Storm Splitter token. I guess we could sack the Vault as well, but let's just do the loop, the full loop. So sack the Storm Splitter token, bargain Beseech the Mirror, get a Reenact the Crime. Reenact the Crime. Now we should really be good. Get a Reenact the Crime. Storm Splinter triggers. Reenact the Crime. Gets back to Beseech the Mirror. Storm Splinter. Okay, we're up to 8 copies. We're up to 8 copies. Beseech the Mirror. Bargain. Sack a Storm Splitter. Get a few more Storm Splitters. This is a full-on turn 5 kill. Reenact the crime. I think we'll cast it and get back a Reenact the crime to make some Storm Splitters. Our opponent tapped out on turn 4 and died. Reenact the crime. And then I like to end with the Curse Mirror, just so our opponent knows what killed them. Plus, if we make too many Storm Splitters, Arena is going to get really laggy. All right, Curse Recording, just to send the message. This is the card that did it to you, opponent. And attack with some Storm Splitters. That's how you storm off in Standard on turn 5. Turn 5, I guess it's 2-card combo, because you need the Curse Mirror, and then you need the Beseech the Mirror, or the Cursed Recording and the Beseech the Mirror. Opponent, are we a little salty? Another shout out to Bant for Life. I don't know how Bant for Life ended up sending me a Rakdos Storm deck, but it was Bant for Life who sent me this combo with a full, 11-point checklist of how to go through the loop and execute it. I'm impressed that they figured this out. That's the part that impressed me. It is a convoluted, going through it, once you do it a few times, you just memorize it and it's fine, right? But actually having to figure out the loop to begin with, very impressive stuff. I think this is a deck that game 2 probably gets harder, right? Because our opponent's going to know what we're doing now. They're going to bring in Graveyard Hate. They're going to bring in Artifact Hate. They're going to try to stop the combo. So I feel like similar to, well, probably not is extreme, but kind of like Dredge in Modern, let's say, where or Legacy, where you're probably gonna do good in game 1, hopefully, because your opponent doesn't know how to stop the loop, doesn't have the right cards for it. Games 2 and games 3, you kind of hope you get to steal one. I imagine that's how this deck plays, where there's gonna be a little bit more hate. Well, that is assuming that getting stormed off did not just make our opponent quit Magic altogether, which might be a possibility. Sir Lank, come back to us. We just want to storm you a little bit. Just a little storming. Oh no, they're not coming back. I think we stormed them right out of Standard. So the loop, you kind of do the same thing every time is the idea. There can be variations on it, but basically those steps that we went through there are the same basic steps that you want to memorize and go through the loop every time. The biggest, most important thing is you got to make sure to be full control when you go to the getting the second Curse Recording. If you miss full control there and don't get to activate it, the whole thing falls apart. We really got to have the activation or it doesn't work. So keep that in mind. You got to make sure the full control is working or it doesn't work. And our opponent, Sir Lank, done with Standard. Arena has been shut down. They're out touching some grass, walking around in the beautiful outdoors. And yeah, well, I guess we get the freebie, but game 1, we got to see the full combo. And yeah, that was, I mean, that's a good sign, right? Combo off, opponent salt ropes. Off to a good start on this week's Against Odds. How often can we Curse Recording combo? Yes, we'd like to play first. This hand, well, okay, bad news is we have Reenact the Crime in hand, which we'd rather have in our deck. We can combo off. There's enough redundancy that if we draw any specific combo piece, there's still enough copies in our deck to make it work. If we start drawing 2 Reenact the Crimes or 2 Storm Splitters, that's when it can be a problem. But I think this hand's fine. We're kind of set up to combo as long as we hit our lands. Ooh, all right, opponent. There's a blue mana. Well, there's our land. You know what? We're going to keep the Storm Splitter. We don't want to draw this Storm Splitter, but I don't want our opponent to know about Storm Splitter. I feel like them knowing, all right, Overlord of the Hauntwood, so some sort of domain deck. I don't want them to know that that's what we're trying to do, because if they see the Storm Splitter, they're going to leave up interaction forever. Let's just play the land and pass. Do we just run out the Curse Recording? We might just run out the Curse Recording and hope for the best. Opponent gets a Plains off the Fable. And LH Norn, Mother of Machines. Well, we're going to kill that. It doesn't really stop our combo, but I still think we kill it. Well, Curse Recording. You got to kill it. If you don't kill it, or counter our Beseech, you will die next turn. The thing is, I just don't think I don't think our opponent knows that. I don't think you see Curse Recording and go, oh my god, I'm about to die. But you should. If you see a Curse Recording, you should think, oh my god, I'm about to die, because I think that's the only reason people play Curse Recording. Wow, opponent just runs it out there, tapped out. All right, we are free to go, and I think it might be combo time. Opponent did not respect the Curse Mirror, and now the Curse Mirror is going to put an end to them. Curse Mirror, bargain, full control achieved. Sacrifice the Curse Mirror, and grab another Curse Mirror. Curse Mirror, cast it, activate the Cursed Mirror, and oh no! Oh, we were in arena. We were in full control. That is a shame, Scoop. I think we have to just start locking full control, because I was pressing full control. You could see it on the screen, but then it went away. Mulliganing, because that hand is horrible. This one I guess we can keep. We are Cursed Recording Storming in Standard, hoping to be able to full control our way through the combo. Oh boy, okay. Well, land on black. This hand is not great, but I do like the Volcanic Spites. Ooh, up the beanstalk. Volcanic Spite is very important because it allows us to put back combo pieces that we happen to draw. Like if we draw too many Reenact the Crimes or Beseech the Mirrors or whatever, we can just put them back in the deck. Opponent gonna do a little surveilling. Well, Blaze Meyer Verge. The bad news about this hand is we are nowhere near comboing at the moment. Not even close. Opponent, some sort of up the beanstalk deck. And, ooh, Overlord of the Mist Maws. Gonna make some flyers. Well, those are targets for our Volcanic Spites, I guess. Let's put an Anoint with Affliction to the bottom. All right, Avarice is not bad. That can find us a combo piece or draw some cards, maybe both. Play the Verge. And I think we just get down like Collector's Vault. So there's two upsides. Well, a few upsides to Collector's Vault. One is it gives us stuff to bargain off of if we need to bargain to like find the Curse Mirror. Another thing is one of the ways, all right, another Overlord draws a card, a little impending. One of the ways a combo can fizzle is our opponent having removal, but if we can leave up an instant speed spell, we can cast a spell in response to make another Storm Splinter to get around a removal spell. So there's upsides to just having extra mana on the battlefield. Plus, we can get up to 8 mana and do the whole combo in one turn without our opponent having any idea what's going on. About to get a Surveil. All that to say, Collector Vault actually pretty good in this deck. Leyline Binding. I'm gonna go after the Collector's Vault, I assume. Well, let's draw. Discard another Anoint. Make a treasure. Sure. Collector's Vault down. Unimpends. Ooh, another Deadly Cover-Up. Deadly Cover-Up's nice, too, because it can give us a hand peek to let us know if our opponent has a Leyline Binding or something. Well, let's fully power this Insatiable Avarice. Do a little tutoring for a Cursed Recording and draw some. Ooh, okay. And we draw the Beseech the Mirror. All right. Things are looking up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need one more mana to be able to combo all in one turn. I think what we need to do, we need to get more mana value in the graveyard. Ooh, Withering Torment can do that. Maybe we wait like 2 more turns. We don't really care about our opponent gaining life with these cornucopias. That is 1,000,000% fine, because when we deal damage, we can deal hundreds of damage. So I think we pass. We could also do this sneaky, like, Withering Torment the Leyline Binding to get back Collector's Vault to make more treasures. Opponent hits us to 11. Plays a tap land. Unimpends. Yeah, I think we do it. I think we blow up this Leyline Binding. This also lets us Deadly Cover-Up, exile all the Leyline Bindings, and get a peek at our opponent's hand. We're going to try to set up the combo all in one turn. We're going to have enough mana, we can do it all at once. And I think we can do it all at once after doing a hand check to make sure our opponent can interact. Make a treasure. Discard a Volcanic Spite. Opponent gonna unimpend the Overlord of the Mistmoors. And, alright, there's a Leyline Binding. Gonna gain some life and draw some cards. And get rid of, I guess, the Collector's Vault again. Opponent has a... I think our opponent thinks we're a Reanimator deck. So they have a big fear of this Cursed Recording, even though we're kind of just playing it for value. Like, it's good in the deck, but it's not an essential combo piece or anything. Well, we draw a tap land. Yeah, we're going to Deadly Cover Up first. Deadly Cover Up, collect some evidence. Get rid of the Leyline bindings. And just make sure there's not like a counter or some weird artifact destruction. Wow, opponent's hand is just a Wrath? Okay. Well, get rid of the Leyline bindings. What other answers are there? 2 Soul Partitions. All right. Well, as long as our opponent doesn't just top deck a Soul Partition, we should be good to just combo next turn, I think. Opponent, tap land. And, all right, another Cornucopia. That doesn't stop it. That doesn't stop it. All right, so this should be good. Okay, we're in full control. We need to, How do you lock? I'm gonna have to Google how you lock. I never lock full control. But normal full control, it keeps going off every time I click OK. All right, opponent unimpends. Hey, there we go. We did it. We have full controlled ourselves. Okay, so now, Curse Recording. Now we should be good to win. I don't even think Arena can mess this one up. Curse Recording. Activate Curse Recording. And Beseech the Mirror. Bargain. Sack the Curse Recording. This is the important step for full control. Once we activate the second Curse Recording, then full control is not necessary. All right, Curse Recording activated. This is where it went wrong that last game. All right, Beseech the Mirror. And bargain the Beseech the Mirror. Sacrifice the Curse Recording. This time, we get the Storm Splitter. And we know we're good, because we know our opponent's hand, and nothing in that hand can stop this. So there's the Storm Splitter. Get the Reenact the Crime. Reenact the Crime. Get back the Beseech the Mirror, make a token. This deck is so cool. Beseech the Mirror. This is standard. We're doing this in standard. Sacrifice the Storm Splitter. Storm Splitter. Storm Splitter might be one of the coolest cards they've added to standard in a long time. So let's Beseech the Mirror. Beseech the Mirror. Bargain. Grab a Reenact the Crime. Reenact the Crime. To Beseech the Mirror. Oh, actually, I should have got the other Reenact the Crime here. We're so far ahead in the combo, it doesn't matter. But it would have been better to Reenact the Crime just to make more tokens. This time we'll sack the Treasure that doesn't do anything. It doesn't really matter at this point. We have the... I don't think even us can mess up this win. So Reenact the Crime. This time we will Reenact the Crime. Make a few Storm Splitters. And Reenact the Crime. We'll find another Reenact the Crime to make a few more Storm Splitters. All right, so we're up to what, almost 40? I mean, we can make hundreds if we want to. Reenact the Crime. Make a few more Storm Splitters. All right, 33 more. So we're up in the 60s now. Next spell will put us up over 100. Although... I'm a little worried about Arena crashing, so let's just get the Curse Recording. We have super lethal anyway. Yeah, 65. So 130 damage to Storm Splitters. Oh, through the Leyline bindings against the Domain deck. Yeah, you can see Arena starting to struggle just a smidge. Yeah, I think if we cast another spell, we're in serious trouble. So let's get the Curse Recording, just so our opponent remembers that this is the card that made this happen to them, and get and hit ya. Opponent going to block, soak up 1 of our 130 damage, 60 damage, some huge amount of damage. Yeah, well, that's how you storm off with Curse Recording. That's how you do it. Is this deck actually good? This deck might actually be good. Let's bring in some enchantment removal. Opponent's got Leyline bindings for sure, and Overlord, so there's tons of good targets. The Realm Breaker could be good as a backup plan if we gotta mill them out. And then cut some of the removal that doesn't kill the big stuff, I think. What else can we cut? Yeah, maybe Torch. The main upside of Torch the Tower is it being a 1-mana spell that we can cast to trigger our Storm Splitter if our opponent has removal. So that's the upside, but I don't think it's necessary this matchup. Yeah, maybe something like that. Do we need a Brass Forge? Maybe 1 Forge. Let's try it like that. All right, on to game number 2 against Domain, I guess. Is it even Domain? It's definitely an Overlord. Ugh. See, one of the things to keep in mind with this deck, too, is there's certain hands we need to mulligan because they have combo pieces in them that we need in our deck. So a handful of, like, Reenact the Crimes. Yeah, let's put Shieldred's Edict to the bottom. A handful of React the Crimes is bad because we need the Reenact the Crimes in our deck to be able to do the combo. All right, opponent, Meticulous Archive. Well, let's start on the theater. Do a little surveilling. Keep the land. All right, so we have the Curse Recording now. The Duress is also super huge. Being able to do a hand check before we go for the combo, really, really nice. Well, the Sunken Citadel on black and pass. I think we wait on the Duress until next turn, probably. We want to get the most information possible about our opponent's hand. Maybe we actually just keep waiting. We want to get as much information as possible when we cast it to make sure that they don't draw something to fizzle the combo. All right, there's the Overlord. We can also pressure with the fish. Here comes the fish. Playing Z, I think, for the deck, the fish beatdown. When all else fails. All right, the insects. Do not want to trade with the fish. Well, let's play the Verge. Actually, do we want to Duress? Let's Duress. Opponent, negate, get lost, Overlord. Well, get lost cannot hit artifacts, so we don't really care about that. Get rid of the negate. That would be a problem. Pass the turn. Opponent. Fabled Passage. So we make another fish. Kind of got a little auto tap there. Arena loves leaving up Sunken Citadel. There's the Overlord. Or he could have played the Curse Recording last turn. All right, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Sure. Opponent going to continue their ramping. I think we probably just kill that real quick. A 6/6, kind of big. The funny thing about Curse Recording, too, is there is some value to getting it down early. Wow, 2 Curse Recordings. There is some value to getting it down early just to copy removal spells. Like, being able to copy a couple removal spells, actually pretty helpful. So now our opponent's definitely going to be afraid of death because the Curse Recording's out, even though, wow, okay, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Can we just draw it? Can we just draw the Beseech? If we just draw the Beseech, we should be able to just win here. Opponent gets and hits us. If we don't draw the Beseech, we are in some danger of dying to the beatdown. Opponent hits us. Overlord of the Mistmoors. Unimpending. All right, go for the throat's actually kind of good. Yeah, I think we just pass. We can pass, leave up our removal. I think what we want to do here is opponent goes to combat, block the Overlord, kill the flyers, because we can Curse Recording to double the removal spell. Then we can sack the fish, draw a card, and then if we don't draw Beseech to win, we can double removal spell, kill the Overlords next turn. So that does make the plan worse. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it means we're going to take some damage here. Let's sack the fish, draw a card. I mean, because the real thing is just finding the Beseech. If we find that, none of the rest of this matters because we just win. A Beseech the Mirror, please. Ugh, Realm Breaker. All right, not the best time for Realm Breaker. Opponent. Gonna fire up the Vine Stalk. So now I guess... Yeah, I guess we just double the go for the throat and kill the Overlord in the Vine Stalk. We're still taking 4, though. And this Withering Torment does cost 2 life. We have to draw something, or we still just end up dying next turn. Well, Curse Recording. Get rid of the Overlord. Get rid of the Creature Land. We got a shot. I mean, we're drawing live. That's the nice thing about being a combo deck is no matter how grim it looks, no matter how low our life total gets, we're always a top deck away, especially with the Curse Recording on the battlefield of just winning. All right, here comes the Overlord. Man, if we had one more turn, we could tutor up the combo and then win next turn. But I think, we just have to cast this Insatiable Avarice to draw 3 and hope we hit land, untap land, and also the Beseech. Come on, Magic Gods. Come on, Magic Gods. Not copying it. Oh, all right. The Magic Gods have smiled upon us. That's a Beseech to the Mirror. That's untap land. And I think it's combo time. Full control achieved. Let's stack this Curse Mirror. Wow. I mean, that's what we're talking about. That's the power of a combo deck. Down to 2 life, dead on board. But we're always a draw away. Curse Recording number 2. Play it and activate it. And opponent knows how it works. They saw it in game 1. They can't stop it. And they scoop it up and yeah. Well, Curse Recording. Storming off, still working. That was a sweet one. That was a really sweet one. Well, this is one of those hands we need to mulligan because we want those cards in our deck. We only have 2 Storm Splitters. There is a possibility that if we just happen to draw both Storm Splitters, we cannot combo in the way we want to combo at least. So if your opening hand has a Storm Splitter, you almost have to mulligan, or at least consider mulliganing. The Volcanic Spites do help though, since you can put them back, but oh boy, Gruul. All right, I don't know how this goes. Slick Shot plotted. Oh no, double Slick Shot. Oh, this might be bad. I feel like I just never beat this deck. I just never beat this deck. At least there's no ley line. We're not staring down a ley line. Opponent plays a land, and are we dead? Wow, opponent's gonna be patient. Opponent's gonna be patient. We're gonna miss our land drop, sadly. This Brotherhood end could be good. I'm just afraid our opponent... All right, there's a Swift Spear. I'm afraid our opponent's going to be able to set up a turn where they just kill us before we get to untap and cast it. Yeah, I mean, if our opponent's not going to cast anything, we'll take 1. And then Heartfire Hero. We need to hit a land. We don't even have double red for Brotherhood end at the moment. Do a little digging. I mean, we have 2 Verges, so if we ever find a swamp or a mountain, then our mana becomes very good. What are we putting to the bottom? I guess one of our 2 Curse Mirrors, probably. Okay, there's a swamp, so that's good. Is it good enough to let us survive double Slick Shot being plotted? So we could play the Curse Mirror and try to win next turn. I don't know if our odds of surviving this turn are high though, if we just go shields down. I think we gotta wait and try to deal with these Slick Shots. I don't know if this is correct or not. It might be correct just to slam the Curse Mirror and be like, if you can kill us, you can kill us. If you can't, then we're gonna kill you next turn. Found a Monastery Swift Spear, and here they come. Slick Shot number 1 and Slick Shot number 2. Our opponent hasn't cast many spells yet. Maybe they do not have many spells in hand. Opponent gonna go combat attack. So we can kill 2 things, in theory. Shocks our face. Trigger, trigger, trigger. So the opponent's playing Burn. Interesting. So that's probably why they're not playing Leyline. If you're playing things like Shock, you're probably not playing Leyline. Doubling up the shocks on your own creatures, not as effective as pump spells. Turn inside out. Ooh, okay, so I think we have to answer... So I mean, Sheoldred's Edict first. They're going to sack the Swift Spear that's not being targeted, I'm sure. And then I guess we anoint to get rid of the other Swift Spear. No, you haven't. Yeah. Well, I guess it didn't matter what we did there. Like, we left up double removal spells and still died. If we had just run out the Curse Mirror, we would have died even more spectacularly. Ah, Gruul aggro. Well, we get to bring in a bunch of cheap removals, some Pyroclasms. The good news is I don't think this deck interacts with us much. So if we can just like Pyroclasm to stay alive, Curse Mirror or Curse Recording combo, it should be able to work. I don't think they're going to be able to stop us from comboing. Can we live long enough though? Well, I don't like that. On to game number 2 against what I would consider to be our nemesis in the standard, which is oh, the red pump spell decks. My god, oh no. We're going to 5. Yeah, I mean, no 5-card hand is going to be very great. I think we keep Collector's Vault, and the removal spell and lands, I think, is the best we can do. We got to keep the removal spell. Mountain for our opponent. Actually, Verge for our opponent, and passes. Well, Verge and Collector's Vault. Not feeling especially confident. This is already a tough matchup, and tough matchup with 5 cards. Seems like a recipe for disaster. Opponent, Heartfire Hero. Sure. And oh, reenact the crime. There are times when you actually cast the reenact the crime fairly. It does. You make enough treasures with the Collector Vault, you can actually cast a triple blue spell in our Rakdos deck. Goes to combat, gets into it. Also, Sunken Citadel. I have before named blue on Sunken Citadel. And block the Heartfire Hero. Not expecting this to work, but I'm not expecting the Volcanic Spite to work either. Opponent. Opponent's got the triple Verge draw. The Verge lands are so funny. They're so good when they work, but when they don't work... when they don't work, you end up where our opponent is. Although, our opponent doesn't really need green mana early, so... Alright, let's Volcanic Spite this Monastery Swift Spear. Hope our opponent does not have more pump spells. Put a land to the bottom, draw, okay, untap land, except it doesn't make red mana. Well, are we dead? There's their green mana, still doesn't turn their Verges on, but Ember Heart Challenger. Come on, no pump spells. No pump spells. All right, down to 8. Down to 8, but not dead. Well, Collector's Vault. Do a little looting. Discard the tap land, make a treasure. There's the Cursed Recording. And, oh, even more tap lands. Cursed Recording to double the Volcanic Spike could have been good. Torch the tower. Yeah, I think we got to keep that. So we can try to kill the Heartfire hero. If our opponent has a spell, we can draw into the Torch the tower, discard the Cursed Recording, and, like, we have to get this off the battlefield, right? We have to. All right, there's the turn inside out. Well, this hurts because it leaves us very far away from comboing, but we're even farther away from comboing if we're dead. And if we don't kill this Heartfire hero, I think we're dead. Yeah, so draw the Torch to the tower. Sack the treasures. If they have another pump spell, then GG's. This also exiles, so it does fizzle the damage. We don't want the Verge. I mean, we are still in really, really sketchy territory here. Pretty much anything can make us die, and our opponent knows the coast is clear because we are completely tapped out. Opponent, GG's us, and plays a mouse. Well, grab a leg, opponent. Everybody grab a leg. Yeah, that seems like a tough matchup. It's always a tough matchup. We are storming off in Standard, quite literally, with Cursed Recording combo of all things. Let's play one of our Sunken Citadels. This hand, we got a lot of Beseech the Mirrors. Well, maybe slightly less Beseech the Mirrors. I don't know. They might take Sheoldred's Edict, actually. I don't know if this hand is actually that scary to our opponent. Yeah, it takes the Edict. Well, let's play the Swamp. We want triple black because we are going to try to draw, I think, with this Avarice. There's an Innkeeper's Talent. Ooh, all right, Fastland's good. That gives us red mana and lets us Insatiable Avarice. Huh. I think we're just going to draw. I'm not confident that we can just run out the Curse Mirror, have it stick, combo off, without our opponent having any removal and win the game. I think it's safer just to draw cards and trust that we're going to find the Curse Mirror. Find some more removal, perhaps. Opponent. Innkeeper's Talent. Although, if I had known we were just going to draw a ton of lands, I might have just went for the Curse Recording, although we can just Beseech for it, I guess. This does leave us -1 Beseech for the combo, but we should be able to combo with only 3 Beseeches. Opponent runs out a Preacher and starts growing it. Well, there's all the Curse Recordings. All right, I mean, the time has come. The time has come. Run it out. Play the Surveil land, and I think we might, if they can't kill it, I think we might be good, because we can actually beat a removal spell here thanks to Torch to the Tower. We're going to have enough mana that if they try to kill the Storm Splinter, we can Torch the Tower in response. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's the dream. That's the dream. Opponent just goes full-on combo kill, but guess what, opponent? Guess what? Our combo kill is going to be a turn faster than yours. Opponent hits us to 12 with the Preacher and passes. Lock in full control. Untap and draw. Yeah, I think our opponent was just setting up for the Vraska kill next turn, but joke's on you, opponent. We are going to Curse Recording combo right now. Beseech the Mirror. Sack the Curse Recording. And let's see how much losing that one Beseech the Mirror actually hurts. Get the second Curse. I think we just do the same loop. So get the Curse Recording. I think we just do the same exact loop, but we just can't loop as many Beseech the Mirrors, but that doesn't really matter because we make way more Storm Splinters than we need. Beseech the Mirror. Bargain away the Curse Recording. I will say, too, the loop gets easier, like, just after you go through it a few times, it is pretty easy to memorize. Storm Splitter. And grab a Reenact the Crime. Reenact the Crime. Get back a Beseech the Mirror. Trigger the Storm Splitter. Make a token for beseeching per pie. Sacrifice the Storm Splitter token to the Beseech the Mirror. And get a Reenact the Crime. Reenact the Crime. Get back a Reenact the Crime. Make some Storm Splitters. Oh yeah, this losing one Beseech the Mirror really doesn't make a difference at all, does it? It really doesn't matter. Storm Splitters up to 8. Beseech the Mirror coming. So bargain back down to 7. But then double up to 14. Oh yeah, we're like way more Storm Splitters than we need, even being down to Beseech. Get a Reenact the Crime. For reenact the crime, we're just gonna get back the curse mirror. This is more than enough. We could keep going. It seems like once you get over 100 though, that's when arena starts to really lag. Well, get the curse recording, make a few storm splitters, and here we come, here we come. Curse recording to send a message. Hit you for a little, just a little off the top. I do love that they attack one by one to really rub in the damage. You gotta sit. Wait, they just. Did you see that? It was going one by one, and then it jumped ahead by like 15, and then it went back to going one by one. Went back to going one by one. All right, opponent Golgarier. Well, we're gonna bring in the Withering Torments, which sadly seems like a standard staple in Rakdos. Being able to kill an enchantment is totally worth playing that card. Maybe something like that. What else can we cut? I guess just some trimming. We need to be able to get rid of Innkeeper's Talent, Sheoldred's. Yeah, let's try it like that. On to game number 2 against Golgari. This hand, yeah. So we have a Storm Splitter in hand, which isn't great. But the rest of the hand's pretty good. We would like to avoid drawing the second Storm Splitter. Not that we can control that, but ideally. Ooh. Well, Surveilland. Better than a Schwamp. Torch the Tower. Yeah, I think we keep it because of Bat. We only have 1 removals. Oh, no. All right. Well, that's a Stone Brain. I think it is time to find out. Can our deck beat the hate? So we have those Ouroboros Forge in the sideboard, which is kind of our main plan for beating the hate. We did not bring in Ouroboros Forge, though, because I wasn't actually expecting Golgari to be playing Stone Brain. Opponent's going to take the Duress. Yeah, if we had turn 1 Duress, I just didn't have Stone Brain on my radar. Well, I imagine our opponent's going to take the Storm Splitters. You know what this means? Oh, they're going to take Beseech the Mirror. Okay. I mean, that is actually better for us than them taking the Storm Splitter, because there is a world where we just make a bunch of treasures and cast a Storm Splitter and sling some spells and win that way. Opponent, Deep Cavern Bat. This is going to be a challenge, though. This is definitely going to be a challenge. Get rid of the Torch the Tower. The loop is off the table. Can this deck beat the hate? That is the big test. Well, I kind of like Insatiable Avarice to draw cards. Let's get rid of the curse recording for now. It's still fine. The problem with curse recording with no Beseeches is we might die to it if we don't have a way to get rid of it. If we just cast it early. Let's Avarice. Do we even need to tutor? Yeah. What are we tutoring for, though? You know what? Let's just draw 3. I don't even know what we want to tutor for at this point. I think we just want cards. Well, Deadly Cover-Up's not the worst. Opponent. Mosswood Red Knight draws a card. And Mosswood Red Knight. Well, let's do a little looting. Make a treasure. Spend a treasure. Ah, all right, Fountain Port. Our win con has been found. Do we need a Wrath here? Let's just play Fountain Port. Yeah, I think we want more value than just getting rid of a Dread Knight if we're going to cast our Wrath. Let's pass. Opponent. Fabled Passage. I think this makes the most sense. Opponent gets a Forest. There's an Innkeeper's Talent. Although, we do have our super dirty black enchantment removal. Haha! Your enchantments are not safe against our Rakdos deck, opponent. It's 2024. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 12. Well, let's make a treasure. Get rid of the fast land. Ugh, we've drawn a lot of lands, haven't we? Oh, all right. I guess we're wrathing. So we can wrath here. If our opponent fires up the creature land, we can still kill it. We get to do a hand check. And we get to get rid of the Dread Knight, so our opponent can't draw with it. Yeah, Dread Knight down. Sheoldred in hand. Anything else of relevance in the deck? Ugh, 1 more Stone Brain. All right. Well, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Maybe we need to run out the Storm Splitter. Ooh, okay. Wait, maybe we're the Sheoldred deck now. Assuming our opponent just plays the Sheoldred. Wow, okay, they do. So we can kill the Sheoldred on our upkeep and then reenact the crime it? Oh no, another Stone Brain. Oh no, they found them both. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna need this Sheoldred to work, because if they Stone Brain away Storm Splitter, then we literally only Only Fountain Port is win cons. Collector's Vault, we need to loot because we need another treasure to make triple blue in our Rakdos deck. Draw even more lands. Well, all right. I mean, opponent's out of cards. Reenact the crime. Shieldred? Can you beat it? Can you beat your own? This is not what our deck is designed to do, like at all, but all right. Shieldred is ours now. Opponent untaps and draws. Gets drained. Down this. I mean, Shieldred could just win. Shieldred's a clock. If our opponent can't deal with it, come on. Not our Storm Splitters. Oh, all right. Well, at least we have the Shieldred. At least we have the Shieldred. The Shieldred can carry this game. Even more lands. Yeah. We draw a card. Sure. Well, go Shieldred. Oh, no. Go for the throat. Okay. Well, you know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? It is 1-1 Bluefish time. That is literally our only way to win the game. Can we kill Golgari? Yeah, I think we milled into it. There is 17 life. Can we kill Golgari from 17 only using Fountain Port? That is the real against the odds. We thought the Storm combo was against the odds. No. The real against the odds. Can you win a game with only fish? We're going to blow up this creature land before it hits us. I mean, that's literally, I guess we could find another Reenact the Crime. We could find another Reenact the Crime and try to reanimate something else. But we have 0, Glissa. Well, thankfully we have an answer to that. We have 0 things that can actually deal damage outside of the fish. So make a fish. Thankfully we have a lot of removal. Get rid of the Glissa. Put the land to the bottom. Draw even more lands. Here comes the fish beats. Oh, wait, that's a Reenact the Crime. Okay. We got to start building up our treasure production again. Start building up the treasures for another Reenact the Crime eventually. Come on, opponent. How about a land? Okay. Vraska, that's not great. Opponent, gonna start drawing in proliferating. All right, make a fish. Come on, Fountain Port. Opponent passes. Well, there's a cursed recording does have some value now. It might be late enough in the game that we can play it. We're definitely got to attack the Vraska, sadly. It could set up like double Reenact the Crime. I don't know how we're going to get 2 things in the graveyard though. Yeah, let's just pass. I'm still worried that if we play this, like we need to keep casting spells to kill things. Once we play Curse Recording, we can only cast 7 spells before we die. Preacher of the Schism. Well, let's make a treasure. We draw Duress. Yeah, let's discard the Cursed Recording and make a fish so we can kill the Preacher and reanimate it. Well, play the Sunken Citadel on blue. Haha. All right, let's Duress. Maybe they have like a Vraska in hand or something. Tear Asunder to get rid of Collector Vault. Well, let's activate Collector Vault. Ooh, Torch the Tower. Wait. Does this work? So we can kill the Preacher. I think this works. Okay. Wow. Maybe the fish can get the job done. All right. So Collector Vault goes down. So now we can kill the Preacher of the Schism. Hit the Vraska for 3. Bargain the Torch the Tower. To get rid of the Vraska. And I mean, now it's both players empty-handed. Both players empty boarded, except we got the fish. We got the fish. There's no way. There's no way these fish are going to win. If this deck can actually beat the hate too, this might be a real deck. Like, they exiled all of our combo pieces. Yeah, we're going to make the fish. We're all in on these fish. We don't need these treasures. All we care about is fish. I mean, technically it's a 3-turn clock, right? We make another fish, hit you twice for 5. Opponent draws. And we have a removal spell. Shieldred, sure. Good card, but we have the answer. That is one nice thing about this deck is we do have a lot of removal. Kill the Shieldred. Make a fish. Wait, Fountain Port? The fish win? I know this is the least spectacular win. We draw the Curse Recording too. I know this is our least spectacular win, but if we actually pull this off, this is by far the most against the odds win. We're gonna run out the Curse Recording now to send a message. We gotta let him know. Yes, you might have fizzled our combo, but we are still a Curse Recording player. That is still the card. An opponent can't beat the fish and scoops it up. Apparently we can beat the hate too, and Storm might be kind of a real thing in Standard. Wow. So what did we learn this week about cursed recording combo in Standard? Record-wise, we went 6-5 with the deck, although really should have been 7-4 with the deck. One of those losses was the game where we didn't get into full control fast enough, and we tried to do it without locking full control, and even though we had the full combo and we're 100% to win, we couldn't tap the cursed recording in time, and we fizzled and shame scooped, so that should have been a win if we had went to full control properly. So we should have been 7-4 with the deck, which I think means, at least for right now, this deck is actually oddly competitive, and I think maybe Curse Recording combo could be a somewhat real deck in Standard. It kind of feels like a Legacy style Storm deck almost. That's kind of how it plays, with this weird loop that you set up and win by surprise, and the deck was pretty good at doing it. Plus, we just get a ton of removal, so unlike some combo decks, if you look at Modern Storm, every card has to be a combo piece. We're kind of like this weird mid-rangey, almost Rakdos control deck with just piles of removal that also just has an infinite combo to win the game by surprise. I will say, I think the deck might get worse once people know what's going on. One of the great things about playing the deck right now is people just don't view Cursed Recording as a scary card. They think it's some janky beam card, so you can just run it out and people ignore it, and then you untap and you beseech the mirror, and the next thing you know, your opponent's dead on the spot. So I think the deck might actually be really good, and I think it still has room to grow. You can experiment with it, brew with it, so I think there might be something here. Two other things to mention about the deck, in case you try to pick it up. I guess actually three things. So one, if you decide to pick up the deck, just learn the loop, practice it a few times, because if you don't learn the loop, it's going to be hard to do this properly, and you're going to mess it up and get frustrated. So if you just memorize the 11 steps, or at least the first 8 of the steps or whatever, you should be good to go. So if you want to play it, try to learn the loop and memorize the loop. So that's one thing. Number two, there's a backup loop in the deck where we can hardcast a Storm Splitter, and then we can beseech the mirror off a Collector Vault token or Fountain Pour token, and then we can just get all of our beseech the mirrors, and then the last one can get the React the Crimes, which then can flash back the beseech the mirror to get a React the Crime. So basically, we can generate enough Storm count to win with Storm Splitter. We just Storm Splitter, beseech the mirror, a random token on the battlefield. The only problem with that is it costs a lot of mana. We got to get up to 8 mana to do it all in one turn, or we have to play Storm Splitter. Storm Splitter, people do know is a scary card. Unlike Curse Recording, which you can get away with playing and waiting a turn to win with, if you play a Storm Splitter, people are going to freak out and expect to die. So you do need a lot of mana for that win con to actually work. Speaking of win cons, I think maybe the most impressive game with this entire deck was our last game, where our opponent had a ton of hate. They managed to extract all of our Storm Splinters. They managed to extract all of our Beseech the Mirrors. They left us with literally a Fountain Port to win the game, and we managed to piece it together and still win. So that showed that the deck, even though the combo is how we win a huge percentage of the time, we can win without the combo, and I think we could do even more of that. We have a couple of Urbras Forge in the sideboard, but I think we could add more sideboard, almost transformational sideboard cards, where we're okay, if our opponent's going to bring in a ton of graveyard hate, or they're going to bring in targeted, whatever, stuff that can extract our combo pieces from our deck, like the Stone Brain, then we can just bring in, I don't know, maybe an Aclazotz or a random Planeswalker, something like that our opponent's not going to expect, because our main deck, targeted removal is not that good against it, right? Our only creature is Storm Splinter, and if we're Storm Splintering, we're going to make a ton of them, so you can't really stop it too well with targeted removal. That was the other thing I wanted to mention. So the combo can be fizzled with targeted removal. If our opponent can kill the Storm Splinter when we cast our first spell with Storm Splinter out, that will fizzle the combo because we can't bargain away the token and still have a Storm Splinter combo left. However, we can play around this by leaving up an instant that we can cast in response to their removal spell to make another copy of Storm Splinter and keep it going. So that's something else to keep in mind. If you're playing against a removal heavy opponent that's just sitting back with mana up all the time, outside of finding a duress from the sideboard to just do a hand check, or even the deadly cover-ups being a hand check by letting us exile something from the graveyard to see what's in our opponent's hand, actually super relevant here. But that's the easiest way to play around removal, is just get up to 5 mana or 6 mana and leave up a whatever, go for the throat, a torch the tower, volcanic spike, because we can even target our own Storm Splinter with it. It doesn't matter. We can target it and kill it. We just need to make that token copy to keep the chain going. So all of this to say, The deck's awesome. The combo's awesome. I am amazingly impressed that Bant for Life figured out this loop. I'm shocked that there's a straight up 2-card Storm style combo deck in Standard, and that it might actually be kind of a good deck. So anyway, that is Cursed Recording combo. That's how you can win the game, by resolving a single Beseech the Mirror with a Cursed Recording on the battlefield. It's pretty spectacular. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.